Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Today I want to talk to you guys about Hardgainers. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Someone asked me if I could cover the topic of Hardgainers because they felt that they were a Hardgainer and they would like to know my take on it and what they can do. First of all, well, yes, genetics play a huge role here, and some people simply gain muscle far more quickly than others, and there's nothing you could do about that. But I think psychologically it's a huge mistake to label yourself as a hard gainer, because what you do is that you psychologically set yourself up for failure by referring to yourself as a hard gainer. It's basically self-programming of the mind. So once you accept that label, you've accepted the fact that you're going to get inferior gains, and your mind is subconsciously going to affect your training, your diet, and things like that accordingly. So you need to be very careful of labeling yourself like that. Now, there's a couple of things that I've noticed over my many years of working with people, training others, and observing people in the gym, is that most people who classify themselves as hard gainers, I see a couple of common problems there. First off, most of them struggle to gain weight because they struggle to eat enough calories consistently. Oftentimes it's an issue of appetite, and if you are not gaining body weight, you are simply not eating enough calories. There is no other possible biological explanation. So people who are undereaters, who eat a little bit of food and are convinced they've eaten a lot and they don't gain weight, I can promise you that if you were to eat another 500 calories a day, the scale would start going up massively, and you'd probably start gaining fat also. That large of a surplus if you have a fairly low TDEE. That's not even an issue of metabolism, because people with a higher metabolism just need more calories to hit the exact same result. And that doesn't change the laws of thermodynamics. You would still gain weight. So for these people, the worst thing you can do if you're a chronic undereater is to try to follow a clean diet of satiating foods that are helpful for cutting because you eat less of them. If you're struggling to hit enough calories to gain weight, meaning the scale isn't consistently going up every week, that is clearly your problem. So in order to reach your caloric needs, you're going to want to eat more calorically dense foods. I would say two of the easiest foods to help reach your goals if you're consistently coming up short on your calories are things like chocolate milk and pizza. And a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that, but that is the truth. And anyone who thinks they're more fattening than chicken and brown rice clearly doesn't know nutrition. The foods like that, the issue is that they're potentially satiating, so you eat less calories. Eating these more calorically dense foods will go a long way towards that. And you need to track your calories more closely and consistently make sure that you are eating enough to gain weight. Now, the other issue I see is a few people who classify themselves as hard gainers, they do gain weight, but they seem to gain mostly fat. And it's because they're eating in a proper surplus and they're not gaining enough muscle. Well, that then comes back to, what does their training look like? And very oftentimes I see these guys running splits and things out of magazines intended for guys who are on huge amounts of drugs and insulin. And you start asking them what they do, you see them doing tons of chest flies and side laterals and all of these sculpting and isolation movements, but when you watch them do their big heavy compounds, most of them, if they even squat, they only do it once a week. And if you're a drug-free lifter only squatting once a week, best of luck to you gaining size quickly. And when they do it, they half squat. The same thing, if they bother to barbell row, they only do a couple of sets. They don't really go heavy on it. They do it once a week. It's the same issue. These big heavy compound movements need to be the primary focus early on in your training, if not the only thing you do. For someone who's really struggling to put on size like that and gain muscle, you need to be on a proper progressive overload program. You could run my novice program, which I have. You could run all pros from the bodybuilding.com forum. You could run strong lifts 5x5. You could run hypertrophy specific training. Any of those high frequency progressive overload barbell based routines are going to put a lot more muscle on someone who hasn't obtained at least 20 to 30 pounds of muscle already from training than any program you're ever going to find in a magazine. And this is where the solution lies, is to focus on these two things. Alright guys, I've got to go train here shortly, so this is the only video I'm going to have time to make early this morning. I will make a couple more later today after I get home. So I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.